Next, it's time to find out what your views are. So let's speak to our Great British debaters and our wonderful People's panel. They're joining me now. Great British Voices, find out what they think about the topics we're discussing. Right, who shall I start with? I'm going to start with you. Brian Dugan, you're usually the last. I'll put you first today. What do you think? Who should lead the Tories?
Well, I hope you're putting me first, Nana, because I've been pretty straightforward in terms of what I've been thinking in terms of this election. And I think I've called it pretty accurately all the way. In terms of who should lead the Tories, clearly doesn't matter. The Tories have chosen Boris Johnson, a buffoon, Liz Truss, who actually I felt sorry for in the end. She shouldn't have been there. It's clearly indicative of where the Tories are. The Tories and the right of British politics really needs a real think about where the country is. And I'm being serious now, Nana. A real think. A real long, hard think.
Well, you're talking to me. You're talking to me. I taking a long, hard look at myself. I can see myself in the monitor. I'm taking a long, hard look.
In terms of where you believe the country should be. Because it's clearly not the moderate centrist ground. So you're either headed in that direction or you're headed towards Nigel Farage.
I think, let me be honest, I think that let's not get overinflated with this victory here. They won a third of the votes and they got 2/3 of the seat. The way this is set up... No, I listened to you for a bit, Brian.
You're talking nonsense. It's first past the post.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. That's fine, Brian, but the bottom line is...
You're talking nonsense. It's first past the post. You're talking about a different system. You're talking about a different system now.
No, I haven't actually said very much. My point is this, that whilst we could all see the trajectory, the Tories were a disaster. We certainly don't want that lot running the country simply for the way they were...
You never said that before the election. You were talking, all your debates are about how terrible Keir Starmer is, about how terrible Labour are.
They're all terrible. You haven't listened to anything. Brian, you haven't listened. That's not true.
No. Hard at yourself, and you know that now.
I'm loving this.
Listen, Brian, let me be very clear to you.
It's not okay. My show.
I actually think the Tories were toast, and I've been saying they've been toast for quite some time. I don't like a lot of the way they're behaving, and in particular, the last year has been a disaster. I did not like the way they got rid of Boris. I thought it was disgraceful. I did not like the way they got rid of Liz Truss. I thought it was horrendous. I did not like the way they behaved over the last year, and I've made that very, very clear. Right, let me go to Lee. There's two other people. There's two other people. There's two other people. Lee Webb.
Right, I think the Conservative Party needs somebody stable and not somebody that shoots from the hip, and I think that person's either Ian Duncan-Smith or Kemi Badenoch. To be quite honest, I think the Tories are going to be out for quite a long time. I think Labour is going to implode in the next 12 months. I think there's going to be divisions there, and I think the future is something like Reform or an SDP-style party that doesn't go around whether it's left or right, but is a populist movement that brings in common sense policies that most people want.
Well, we'd all like to see that. Adrian Gell in Shropshire. What do you think, Adrian?
Well, actually, I'm with you, actually, Nana. I think, though, that what's really important is that we've lost, the Tory party has completely lost the blue end of the spectrum. It became a pink party, which was absolutely useless. Totally incapable of making any decisions at all. Now, if you look back to some of the speeches of Margaret Thatcher, she was hugely anti-socialist. She was hugely pro-freedom of speech, pro-business, pro-productivity, encouraging people to invest in the stock market and increase their pockets and their worth. That is what we now need as a Conservative leader. And I think that will come, as Lee suggested, from Ian Duncan-Smith. I have a sneaking suspicion Ian Duncan-Smith lost his seat anyway.
Listen, we're running out of time because Brian and Solihull took it all. Tell me to have a long, hard look at myself. You do realise I can see myself. Right, OK, listen, thank you. I'm always looking at myself. I love looking at myself. I've got to be honest with you. Thank you so much, Brian Dugan, Adrian Gell and also Liam Bedfordshire. There's my Great British Voices. Coming up, my